Now, we're staying with the sentencing of Simonekpa by Finland Court to 6 years in prison after finding him guilty of terrorism-related offences, aggravated tax fraud, and breaches of the Attorneys Act. The court ruled that between 2021 and 2024, Mr. Ekpa provided armed groups in Nigeria's southeast with weapons, explosives, and ammunition through his network in pursuit of Biafra's independence by unlawful means. The prosecutors also presented evidence that Simonekpa used social media and online platforms to incite violence in the region, directly linking his campaigns to unrest in the southeast. In addition to the terrorism charges, the court held him liable for serious financial misconduct, including tax fraud, which further undermined his legal standing.
A Finnish court has just sentenced Simonekpa to 6 years in prison. In Finland, a court has sentenced Simonekpa, a man known globally for his role in Biafra struggle, to 6 years imprisonment. But this is not just about Simonekpa. It is about how countries handle sensitive cases of agitation, what it means for Nnamdi Kanu's trial here in Nigeria, and why justice delayed can destroy a society. Stay with me as I break this down legally, politically, and historically, right here on Able Perspectives. What happened today in Finland? Simonekpa was tried in Finland's Päijät-Häme District Court. The charges: participation in a terrorist organization, incitement to terrorism, and aggravated tax fraud. The court found out that from 2021 to 2024, Simonekpa has used his online platforms to encourage crimes tied to Biafra-related violence. Though the violence happened in Nigeria, Finland now had the jurisdiction because Simonekpa lives there in Finland and broadcasted from there as well. So the court ended up with a verdict of 6 years in prison with the right to appeal, because of course Simonekpa still have the right to appeal to this very judgment. So what I noticed about this very case, it was clear, time-bound, and concluded with transparency. Finland didn't drag this out for 10 years. They acted decisively. Now, that brings us to Nigeria's justice system in comparison. Nnamdi Kanu's case is opposite of Finland's clarity. Since 2015, Kanu has faced endless adjournments, new judges, fresh charges, and long detention. 4 different judges have presided over his case. Each time we think the case is moving forward, it resets again. Kanu has spent long periods in detention, sometimes without access to his lawyers. And the truth is, while Finland shows what it means to enforce the law quickly, Nigeria shows what it means to let sensitive cases linger endlessly. And the price is not just legal confusion. The price is violence, instability, and suffering in the southeast region. I mean, when justice drags, people lose faith in courts and the movement turn more radical. That is exactly what we are saying in Nigeria. Talking about freedom fighters and prison, why it shouldn't be strange at all. Some people say, why should Simonekpa or even Nnamdi Kanu be in prison when they call themselves freedom fighters? But history is clear. Freedom fighters often end up in jail. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years behind bars. Even Martin Luther King Jr. also faced jail. Why? Because when agitation challenges the state, whether violently, politically, or peacefully, the law responds. And when agitation crosses into incitement or violence, courts see it as a crime, not just activism. So Ekpa being jailed is not strange. It is part of global reality. The real question is not whether he should be jailed. It is all about how his case was handled. Finland delivered clarity. Nigeria has delivered confusion, especially when you make reference to the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Then, let's draw to implication of this very judgment to Nnamdi Kanu's case. I mean, what does this mean for Nnamdi Kanu? There are 3 possible paths for Nnamdi Kanu. First, conviction or acquittal. If Nigeria's prosecution can prove its terrorism or treasonable charges, Kanu could be convicted or he could be acquitted if the evidence doesn't stand up enough. Secondly, procedural collapse. Because of issues like extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, higher court may throw part of the case out. Thirdly, political resolution. Nigeria could choose to dialogue with Nnamdi Kanu, but here is what must not happen: endless detention without conclusion. That is the worst option, and sadly, it is the one Nigeria has stuck in for years. That leads us to lessons Nigeria must learn from Finland judgment about simonekpa. A sensitive case was handled firmly, lawfully, and swiftly. That is why the Finnish system commands respect. In Nigeria, the endless delay has led to violence, sit-at-home orders, and billions of naira in economic loss in the southeast. Families have been broken, businesses destroyed, lives lost, all because the case of Nnamdi is hanging without closure. I mean, if Nigeria wants to rebuild trust, it must either conclude the trial fairly or release Nnamdi lawfully, or even pursue political settlements, as a lot of people have actually opted. But this limbo cannot continue. Then, what is the closing reflection of this judgment to Nnamdi case pending before the Federal High Court in Abuja? When we look at simonekpa in Finland and Nnamdi in Nigeria, we see two very different stories. One was tried, sentenced, and given a right to appeal. The other has been kept in detention for years without a clear end in sight. And that is why this Finnish judgment is not strange. Around the world, freedom fighters often face prison. The difference is in how justice is delivered. The real question now is, will Nigeria learn? Will Nigeria handle Nnamdi case with speed, fairness, and clarity, or will it keep circling in adjournments? And so, as simonekpa begins his prison sentence in Finland, a new question echoes loudly in Nigeria. How much longer will the case of Nnamdi be allowed to drift without a clear direction? Finland has shown that justice, no matter how controversial, can be swift, structured, and final. Nigeria, on the other hand, continues to leave its own people in the shadows of uncertainty. But remember this, freedom struggles have never been simple. From Nelson Mandela to countless others, history shows us that prison is often a chapter in the story of a liberation. It does not end the struggle, it only reshapes it. The real test lies not in silencing voices, but in building systems where justice is fair, transparent, and trusted. At ekpa Perspectives, we will keep asking the hard questions, we'll keep shining the light, and we'll keep holding power accountable, because these are not just stories of courts and politicians. They are stories of people, of unity, and of kind of nation we dream of becoming. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and join the conversation in the comment below, because democracy is best ascribed with individual perspectives. Your voice matters here a lot. And of course, subscribe to ekpa Perspectives and hit the notification bell so you will never miss our unfiltered breakdowns of political stories shaping Nigeria and the world. Until next time, stay informed, stay courageous, and remember, justice delayed anywhere is justice denied everywhere. This is all you need to know about this case. Thank you for watching.